In this video, I'm going to answer 5 questions about the iOS 15 updates and ultimately what it means for you in plain old English with their new privacy features being enabled and how it's going to affect your email marketing. I'm Jason Resnick of NurtureKit, NurtureKit.co, and when you treat your email lists like humans, amazing transformations will happen. Now, I can't emphasize that enough, especially with this video. See, you have no doubt seen the headlines, you've seen the social media posts talking about how Apple is killing email. Well, that's not true by any sense of the imagination. And the reality of it is that Apple is not doing anything that hasn't already been available for your subscribers. Apple is just allowing the users of their product to be able to control their data and their privacy a little bit easier. So this is all out there in the world already. So email is far from dead. I'm going to share with you in plain old simple English what it means for you and the tips that I have for you to move forward in this post-update world. With this iOS 15 update coming out as early as September 2021, there are going to be major updates that are going to affect email marketing. Now, as I said, there isn't something new about a lot of what they're talking about. However, it's just going to be magnified because Apple has a big market share. I'm all for all of these things. I think it's a great thing to do. I'm a big advocate of privacy. I'm a big advocate of me being able to control my own data and what is available to people. But as a business, it does bring up questions and concerns and things that maybe you have, just like me and my clients have, that I hope to answer here for you. So let's dive in. First thing is, how will a user be able to enable this? Now, before we dive into that, this is mail privacy protection. That's what Apple is calling it. And what it does is it basically allows the user of the iPhone or iPad, when using Apple Mail, to be able to restrict what it sends, what the device sends back to the email sender. How easy is it for the user to enable this? Well, Apple has said that this will be displayed the first time that someone opens up mail when they have iOS 15. Unlike previous privacy settings that Apple has released, where you had to go into the settings app and look for it, this is going to be front and center as soon as somebody opens up their email. What is mail protection privacy and what does it actually do? So let's talk about blocking pixels for a moment. Now, this is technical, I get it, but the big thing with this update is that users will be able to block pixels. It means that senders can no longer rely upon seeing when an email has been opened. Now, this, again, just as I said and mentioned at the top, this is nothing new. Platforms like Hey.com and email clients like Gmail and Thunderbird have always had ways where you could block pixels and not be tracked. But what is different is that through a survey that was run by Litmus in May of 2021, 60% of the market share use Apple iPhone or Apple Mail, and that is a big portion of the market share. So while this has been out there in the wild for a long time, Apple is just making it easily available to a bigger portion of your subscriber list. So the impact can be massive, right? It's going to be massive as a whole for humanity and for society and the internet, which is great. But how it affects you, well, you're going to have to determine that. I can't determine that for you. But what I will say is that I've seen estimates on this that if you are a B2B company, it could affect 25 to 35% of your list on estimates. But if your business is more consumer focused, then it could be 40 to 50% of your list. It really depends. I can't decide that. You would have to decide that. You would have to figure that out for yourself. Now, there are ways that you can figure out. Flat out ask. Ask them how they read their email. Do they read it on a mobile device? Do they read it on their desktop? So ask, right? Survey your audience. This brings up the third question, which is, will this affect mail clients like Gmail and other mail clients that reside on iOS? It does not. This will only apply to Apple Mail. But again, that's a massive audience, right? 60% of the market share is well, it's the most, right? So the fourth question is, as a part of this, location is turned off, which means if you are using your subscribers' time zones and locations for your marketing efforts, maybe at the time at which you're going to send out emails, well, you're going to have to reevaluate that. I can't tell you exactly how in this video, but you're going to have to think about it in a little bit different way. The fifth question is something that isn't as widely talked about, but it is the biggest problem that email marketers have. And that is multiple email addresses for the same person on your email list. iCloud subscribers can essentially make burner email addresses. And with Hide My Email, it allows the user to generate a random email address that then ties to their true email address, which really means that your subscribers or your customer segment and your non-customer segment, those lines are going to be blurred, right? You may have the same person in both of those segments. Now, what does all of this really mean in plain old human, right? It means that you're going to have to minimize your dependence ultimately on the open rates as any sort of key metric for you to make decisions on, right? Case in point, A/B tests. On a lot of platforms, when you run A/B tests, the A/B tests are based off of open rates, optimal send times, right? They're going to be impacted as well. Some platforms have features where they base the optimal send time around open rates. So that's going to be affected. Open rates are ultimately going to be drastically wonky after this. And depending on your ESP and maybe how they figure out what they're going to do with it, your open rates may be drastically higher or drastically lower. It's going to be dependent on your ESP and the reporting that they give you back. Ultimately, open rates has been fuzzy at best for a long, long time. Now, if you're using open rates as a key metric around some of your email marketing and automation, you're going to have to reevaluate that and alter that. As I mentioned, sending location is going to be off. So if you're a musician and you have a concert in a certain region and you want to send an email out to that specific region only, well, you're going to have to take that into consideration, right? You don't want to send the wrong message to the wrong person, but you want to make sure that the right message gets to the right person. So just like how you may ask why somebody doesn't buy from you, you may want to ask them where they live, right? Just ask flat out. Segment your list accordingly. Depending on how Hide My Email, iCloud's email burner program, is adopted, this could affect your paid ads and your custom audiences as well. It's going to drastically grow your list. That vanity metric may go up, but you're going to have customers and non-customers and email addresses. And when you try to build out custom audiences and remarketing campaigns around these segments, well, you may be hitting the wrong people. I don't want you to walk away from this video with doom and gloom or anything of that nature. I want you to walk away with action items. Accept this as a challenge to you to engage your list. measure your results and figure out what works and what doesn't work. This is an opportunity for you to ask more and learn more about your subscribers so that you can segment them much, much better. You want to right now identify your high openers that don't click on something so that this way, before the iOS 15 update lands, you can flag those subscribers as people that do open, but they don't click on anything. This is a segment that you're going to want to pay attention to and maybe hold on to because that's their level of engagement. To that effect, you want to remove unengaged subscribers. I have a 2-part video series on how to identify cold subscribers and then how to prune them off of your list. So definitely go check that out. The link will be in a card above and a description below. This is going to be critical to do sooner rather than later. Another segment that you want to take into consideration is the domain segments. So the people that are using gmail.com, the people that are using yahoo.com, the people that are using custom domains or maybe .edu addresses, right? Having these segments will help you track the effect of iOS's updates for the long term of your subscriber list. And ultimately, look, it is about the subject lines, right? Align your subject lines to the CTAs in your emails, right? If someone is interested in the subject line so much that they open it, then that's going to resonate with them throughout the email itself. So if you want them to click on a link or a button or an image, make sure that also reiterates what the subject line is. It's the same interest level. Now, as an aside, it's something that I do help some clients with, is you might want to think of other things to help support your email marketing. Things like SMS and messaging, right? Those kind of tools can also help in your overall email marketing strategy. In the end, as I said, this is good for all of us, right? Humanity as a whole. This stuff has been in place already for a long time. It's just now that Apple is landing this right on everybody's desk so that a vast majority of people can actually use it. It's not the end of email marketing, and it's not the end of the world as we know it. The email marketers that engage their list now will continue to do so once this has been released. It's not going to change. Your fans, your subscribers will engage with you and buy from you as long as it's interesting for them to do so. I realize that this was a little bit different in the types of videos that I do, but I feel like you need to know this information at that level just so that you can be a better email marketer. And if you have any other questions, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them, or look it up if I don't know the answer. I want you to have the knowledge and know-how of what this means for you in the grand scheme of things. If this was helpful, smash that like button and share it with a friend. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and click that bell icon so that you get notified the next time a new video drops. And until next time, when you treat your email list like humans, amazing transformations happen.